Good afternoon. You remember the groups that you hung out with in high school or in school of any age? You remember the group that was the jock group, the ones that played sports all the time? If you hung out with that group, you remember what times were like, talking about sports, playing sports, just totally absorbed with sports. If you hung out with the group that was a part of the debate team or the chess club, you probably hung out with people who really like to talk about intelligent things. They like to discuss matters of grave importance. They wanted to show how smart they were, and they could back it up too. It depends on whatever group you hung out with, and it really doesn't matter, because any one of them would have people who were really wise and some that were really foolish. Some part of those groups would make decisions that would leave you scratching your head. And if you got involved with them, you probably were getting into trouble. You probably were running with the wrong crowd and doing things that you weren't really supposed to do, and mom and dad really wouldn't have wanted you to do. If you hung out with the crowd that was wise, then that wisdom rubbed off on you. And you probably stayed in and got good grades and really studied hard and worked hard and made it through school with no problems. Whatever group you were a part of, there were subgroups. There was wise in each group, and there were probably some foolish in those groups too. God speaks about the same thing in His Word. In Proverbs chapter 13, verse 20, "Whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but a companion of fools suffers harm." The idea of who you spend your time with is going to rub off on you. If you spend time with the wise, then that's going to probably make you wise. If you spend time with the fools, then the things that they do are going to rub off on you, and you're going to be finding yourself in some tough spots too. It's spiritually the same way. If you spend your time around people who are Christians, who spend time in God's Word, who strive to know what God's Word says, then you're going to want the same things. But if you spend time with people who don't care about God's Word, who simply want to ignore what God says, then you're probably going to follow along with them. And God calls those people fools, because they're going to be left out. They're not going to know the good news that God has sent His Son Jesus. That's what makes a person wise. And those are the kinds of people that you want to spend time with. Until we see each other again, the Lord's blessings on your day.